Welcome back to the channel JF Coin. Today we have something absolutely mind-blowing to talk about. A coin that has literally made people rich. A coin that hides secrets in plain sight. And you won't believe what it's worth right now. Collision. I'm talking about the 1-cent 1981 Ultra Lincoln penny. Collision. Yes, the humble penny you've seen a million times in your pocket change. But this one? It has a story, history, and value that could change your life. Brain Part 1. History of the 1981 Lincoln penny. Let's rewind the clock and dive into how this penny came to be. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, was created to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the first U.S. president ever put on a circulating coin. His image appears on the obverse, that's the heads, side, and the back. Originally had wheat stalks, which later changed to the Lincoln Memorial design, the same one used on the 1981 penny. This design stuck around for decades and has become one of the most iconic coins in the world. Now, 1981 is significant for a big reason. It was the last year that pennies were made with the original copper-rich composition before the transition to zinc in 1982. That means these 1981 pennies are some of the final ones made from the traditional 95% copper alloy used for most of the 20th century. Coin value checker right there, that's reason enough to pay attention. History buffs, this is gold, or should I say copper? Right here, bar chart part 2. How many were made? Let's talk numbers. In 1981, the U.S. Mint produced pennies on a massive scale. Backhand index pointing right. Philadelphia Mint, over 7.4 billion pennies. Backhand index pointing right. Denver Mint, over 5.3 billion pennies. Backhand index pointing right. San Francisco Mint, proofs over 4 million pennies. Cointrackers.com. That means roughly 12 to 13 billion of these coins exist. Most people think that means not rare, and yes, most are common. However, that is where things get interesting. Fire Part 3. Why some 1981 pennies are super valuable. Here's the part where it gets really exciting. Not all 1981 pennies are worth just 1 cent. In fact, some can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on what makes them different. These variations include white medium star 1. Mint errors. Errors happen when something in the minting process goes wrong, and collectors love that. Some common error types include heavy checkmark off-center strikes, where the image isn't centered at all. Heavy checkmark double die errors. Letters or numbers appear doubled. Heavy checkmark die cracks or cuds. Raised lines from broken dies. Heavy checkmark fold over strikes. The planchet folds over itself and gets struck that way. Coin value checker. Some of these errors can fetch prices in the hundreds, or even thousands, especially if the date and lettering are still visible. White medium star 2. Proof coins. Proof coins are not regular pennies. They're specially made for collectors, with a mirror-like finish and sharp detail. And guess what? The 1981 S-proof penny, especially the rare Type 2 variety, can be worth a lot, in some cases $900 to $1,200 or more, even if not perfect, and much more if graded super high. Demai Global Services Private Limited. There's even documented proof coins selling for over $2,000 in top condition. U.S. coins value. White medium star 3. Condition and grading. Collectors use a grading scale to judge how perfect a coin is, from MSD, mint state, grades like MS60 up to MS70, absolutely flawless. The higher the grade, the higher the price. A regular penny in average condition might only be worth a few cents, but MS67 or MS68 red uncirculated coin, that can command huge money. U.S. coins value. Money bag Part 4. The $442 value myth. Is it real? Now let's talk about what you've been hearing. The idea that a 1981 penny can be worth $442. First, yes, some specific rare and high-graded 1981 pennies can sell for $400 or more on auction sites depending on condition, certification, and collector demand. But this is not the value for every 1981 penny in your pocket. Yes, most are common and worth close to face value or maybe a couple of bucks if in mint condition. Cointrackers.com. The $442 figure? That kind of price usually refers to a specific rare variation, rare error, or extremely high-grade coin, and only if a buyer is willing to pay that premium. So don't unload all your pennies expecting instant riches. But do check them carefully. Magnet Part 5. How to identify a valuable 1981 penny. If you think you might have something good, here's what to do. 1. Check the mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. 2. Look for doubled features on letters or numbers. 3. Look for off-center strikes, huge eye appeal. 4. Check color, bright, red copper coins are more prized than dull brown antiques. Know how. 5. Consider getting it graded by a professional service. That's where value is truly unlocked. Chart increasing. Part 6. Market trends. Is it a good time to sell? Because pennies aren't just coins, they're collectibles. Their value goes up and down with collector interest, metal prices, and auction demand. Right now, heavy checkmark copper content adds metal value above face value for pre-1982 cents US coins. Guide heavy checkmark rare error. Today we're uncovering the full story behind the 1984 D Ultra Lincoln penny, a coin that looks ordinary but could be hiding serious value. Before we begin, hit like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell because you don't want to miss out on the rare coin secrets we're exposing in this video. Bell Money Bag. INTRO, what is the 1984 Lincoln penny? Let's start with the basics. The 1984 Lincoln penny is a United States 1-cent coin, a modern penny that most of us have seen in our wallets and pocket change. In 1984, the U.S. Mint produced over 13 billion of these pennies between the Philadelphia and Denver mints, so you'd think they're all common and not worth more than their face value, right? Coin identifier. But here's where it gets interesting. Scroll short history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the first time the U.S. placed a real person on a circulating coin. Over the decades, the coin design changed, but Lincoln's portrait remained. In 1959, the reverse side changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, the design still used in 1984. Coin identifier. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from a mostly copper coin to one made of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, the same style used in 1984. That's why most 1984 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams and have a copper surface over zinc metal. Coin identifier. Magnifying glass tilted left. So why are some 1984 pennies worth money? Most 1984 pennies? Worth exactly what they say, 1 cent. But here's the twist. Backhand index pointing right. Certain era pennies, especially the ones with dramatic doubling of the design, can be exceptionally valuable. Pennyverse. One of the most famous of these is the 1984 D double die obverse, also called the double ear penny, and it's the coin collector's dream about. Pennyverse gemstone. The rare 1984 D double die penny, jackpot coin? If you find an authentic 1984 D double die penny, one where the date, letters, or features are clearly doubled, especially around Abraham Lincoln's ear, you could be holding something huge. Fire experts believe only a handful of these era coins exist, making them extremely rare. In fact, one of these rare double-die pennies sold for a staggering $250,000 at auction. That's right, a penny worth $250,000. Moneybag Pennyverse. That's not fake news. That's the real world of rare coin collecting. Bar chart. How much could your 1984 penny be worth? Let's break it down so you know what to look for. Pushpin, common 1984 pennies. Face value. Most regular 1984 and 1984 D pennies in circulation. 1 cent. Literally what they say on the coin. Coin trackers. Gemstone uncirculated high-grade pennies. If your penny has never been used and looks brand new, it could be worth a few dollars to possibly tens of dollars to collectors. CoinValueLookup.com. Collision error or rare varieties. Some rare versions, especially the double die, have record prices ranging from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pennyverse. That's right. A plain penny you find in your couch could actually be worth a fortune. Magnifying glass tilted right. How to spot a potentially valuable penny. Here's how to tell if your 1984 penny might be worth more than just spare change. Yellow circle 1. Look for doubling. Check the date, the word liberty, and the motto. In God we trust. If the letters or numbers appear doubled or blurry, that's a sign of a doubled die, A serious mistake collectors love. Pennyverse Green Circle 2. Mint mark matters if there's a D under the date. It's from the Denver Mint, and that's where the rare double die varieties were struck. Pennyverse Magnifying Glass tilted left 3. Condition counts coins with red or bright copper color, sharp details, and nowhere fetched more than 1 ones. A pristine, uncirculated coin could bring a significantly higher price. CoinValueLookup.com brain expert tip: didn't believe every internet claim about coins worth $500,000. Many supposed rare coins are just ordinary pennies. True rarity requires professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC. Pennyverse Collision Real Stories, people who hit it big. There are documented cases where rare Lincoln pennies, especially era coins, have sold for insane prices. One 1984 double-die piece reportedly sold for $250,000, and that's not the only record. Pennyverse some even claim certain 1984 errors might someday reach even higher values. But remember, confirmed sales are what matter most. The takeaway for you. So what's the bottom line? Right arrow most 1984 pennies equals 1 cent. Right arrow some uncirculated examples equals a few dollars. Right arrow rare errors equals potentially tens of thousands or more. If you've got a 1984 D penny hiding in your pocket change, it's worth a closer look, especially if you see doubling on the design. Pennyverse Pushpin Call TO Action. Now it's your turn. Backhand index pointing right, check your change. Backhand index pointing right, pull out every 1984 penny you can find. Backhand index pointing right, look for doubled letters or numbers. Backhand index pointing right, tell me in the comments if you think you found a rare one. And if you want part 2, where we show how to get your coin graded and sell it for top dollar, smash that like button. Thumb up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, treasure hunters. Gemstone. Would you like a version of this script with visuals and on-screen text cues that you can use when editing the video? That's the perfect next step for you to. Today we are diving into something insane, a coin that most people think is just 1 cent, but could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. That's right, we're talking about the legendary 1986 Ultra Lincoln penny. If you've got one of these in your pocket change, listen closely. You could be sitting on a hidden treasure. Pushpin, smash that like button and subscribe if you're here to uncover rare coin secrets every week. INTRO, the story of the Lincoln penny microphone host. Before we reveal the crazy value of this coin, let's talk history. The Lincoln cent, also called the Lincoln penny, has been America's beloved 1 cent coin since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. It's one of the most widely collected coins in America. But not all Lincoln pennies are the same. Light bulb. In 1986, the U.S. Mint struck millions, and I mean millions, of pennies at 3 different facilities: right arrow Philadelphia, no mint mark; right arrow Denver, D mint mark; right arrow San Francisco, S mint mark. Proof: together, over 8.9 billion 1986 pennies were made. So normally, your average 1986 penny is worth face value, but not always. CoinValueLookup.com, Common Value versus Rare Treasures, microphone host. So you might be wondering, how does one of these tiny coins possibly become hundreds or thousands of dollars in value? Magnifying glass tilted left, most 1986 pennies in circulation are just worth, 1 cent or a few cents more if they're uncirculated. CoinTrackers BUT. When a coin is in exceptionally pristine condition or has certain rare characteristics or mint errors, that's where things get interesting. Let's break it down. Antiques know-how, rare certified mint states, big money, chart increasing host. Coins that have never been in circulation, called uncirculated or mint state, can be graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Depending on their grade, some 1986 pennies have sold for crazy amounts. Here's some real auction history. Sparkles 1986 DMS 69 RD, Denver, mint state 69 red, sold for about $7, $8.40. Sparkles 1986 MS 68 plus RD, Philadelphia, sold for around $2, 400. Sparkles 1986 SPR 70 DCM, San Francisco. Proof: sold near $3. For 50 sparkles, other uncirculated coins have sold for hundreds to over $1,000. Antiques know how +1, so yes, even though the face value is only 1 cent, the world of rare coins plays by a completely different value scale. What makes a 1986 penny valuable? Microphone host. Okay, here's the exciting part. How do you know if your 1986 penny is worth more than just pocket change? Here are the main things collectors look for. Antiques know how. +1 police car light 1. Mint condition. Uncirculated coins with no wear. Perfect surfaces. An original color can be worth much more, especially in top grades like MS68, MS69 or PR70. Magnifying glass tilted left 2. Proof coins, 1986s. Proof coins were specially made and struck with extra care. Some rare deep cameo proof pennies sell for thousands. 3. Error coins. Errors occur during the minting process and can significantly increase value. Some of the most popular ones include right arrow off-center strikes, where the design is shifted off the center, can be worth tens to hundreds of dollars. Right arrow double die errors, where parts of the design are doubled, also collectible and valuable. Right arrow missing plated layer, showing exposed zinc, can be intriguing errors too. Antiques know how. +1 memo. Examples of error values. Pushpin host. Here's a quick value guide for common 1986 penny errors. Approximate. Collision off-center pennies. Often $50-$150 plus collision double die pennies. Sometimes $25-$100 plus collision missing copper plating pennies. $50-$200 plus collision rare or dramatic varieties up to several thousand, depending on rarity and condition. Coinvaluelookup.com. +1. And remember, the highest grade collectible pennies can sell for far more than $442, into the thousands, depending on condition and demand. Antiques know how to identify a rare 1986 penny at home. Microphone host. Before you head to eBay or an auction, here's how you can quickly check your coin at home. Magnifying glass tilted right. Step 1. Look at the condition. Is it shiny and clean with zero wear? If yes, it might be uncirculated. Magnifying glass tilted right. Step 2. Look for doubling. Use a magnifier. Inspect letters like Liberty or the date 1986. If you see thick edges on letters, it could be a doubled die. Magnifying glass tilted right. Step 3. Check orientation. Is the design off-center? That's super cool and possibly valuable. Magnifying glass tilted right. Step 4. Check mint mark. Philadelphia, no mark. Denver, D. San Francisco, S. Provenance matters. Rarest.org. Real market value. What it really is. Brain host. So how much is a typical 1986 Lincoln penny worth right now? In normal condition? Most are just worth face value or a few cents, even in uncirculated grades unless it's a special error or high grade. CoinTracker's BUT. Rare high-grade examples and certain errors can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Antiques know how. That's why listings or rumors you might have heard, like a 1986 penny worth $442, are based on examples that are above average, collectible, and often certified by grading experts. Final wrap. Why collectors love this coin. Microphone host. Whether you've been collecting for years or you just found a 1986 penny in your jar, every coin has a story. The 1986 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that proves even everyday change can hide an extraordinary treasure. Eyes. So check your pocket change, look through old coin rolls, and you never know, your next find could be the one that gets you hundreds, thousands, or more. Checker flag, OUTRO, call to action, loudspeaker host. Thanks for watching. If you want coin tips, rare finds, and more videos like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below what your penny you want us to talk about next. And I'll see you in the next treasure hunt. Musical note: outro music plays as the video fades out. If you want titles, thumbnail text ideas, or Instagram Reels snippets for this video, let me know. I can help script those too. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2000 Lincoln penny, how it was made, why collectors love it, and how you might be holding a tiny treasure right in your pocket or change jar. Let's get into it. This coin is officially a Lincoln Memorial cent, struck in the year 2000, and minted in Denver, which is where the D comes from on the coin. That little letter under the date telling us where it was produced. Coin trackers now, to most people, a 2000 penny is just that, a penny. But to coin collectors, its value is anything but small. Millions and millions of these cents were made, about 8.7 billion just at the Denver Mint, which makes normal ones very common. Coin trackers, but that original production number is only half the story, so why would any 2000 penny be worth more than 1 cent? There are a few big reasons. First, condition matters more than date in modern coins. A worn penny from 2000 in your pocket may be worth a few cents or $1, but an uncirculated, pristine penny with beautiful color and sharp detail, that can be worth much more, because collectors pay a premium for coins that look perfect. 23news.pro. Here's a quick idea of how condition affects value. A penny in normal circulated condition, often just 1 cent. A clean, uncirculated coin with no wear, maybe $10, $40. A top-tier uncirculated coin, especially graded by experts, can easily be hundreds of dollars, and the best of the best. In top grades like MS69 or MS68 with wonderful red luster, have sold for $800, even $2,500 plus at auction. 23news.pro. That means there are real 2000 cents out there selling hundreds of times face value when they're in amazing condition. But condition isn't the only thing that can make your penny valuable. There's also varieties and errors. Collectors hunt for coins with things like letters that are spaced differently, like the famous close AM or wide AM varieties. Striking errors where part of the design looks weird or off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, misaligned images, all kinds of rarities that can instantly make a common coin collectible. Coin identifier. In extreme cases, some Lincoln cents don't even have the correct back side. A few rare pennies were struck with the reverse of a dime, known as mule errors, and those have sold at auction for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Times of India. So while the standard 2000 penny might sell for a few dollars in great condition, a truly rare error or unusual variety could be worth much, much more. Let's talk specific numbers and why people are excited about them. A typical 2000 penny in near-perfect mint state might sell for a few $100s in a collector market, sometimes $300, $400, or even more depending on who buys it and how it's graded. 23news.pro. But rare auction records for similar coins show that higher graded or unusual varieties sometimes go for well into the thousands. That's why coin dealers and collectors urge everyone to check their old coins closely. And with the US no longer minting pennies after 2025, the mint shut down production for good. Coins like this 2000 Lincoln penny overall have become even more popular among collectors. People see them as a piece of American history that can't be made anymore, which boosts interest and value further. Jacksonville Journal-Courier. But how do you know if your penny is worth something? Here are the big clues. Heavy check mark. Does it look nearly perfect with no wear? Heavy check mark. Does it have bright red color, called red or RD? Heavy check mark. Does it have spacing or letters that look unusual, like close AM? Heavy check mark. Does something look off, like doubled words, a weird design, or extra mint marks? If you think your penny looks special, the next step is to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. That grading officially certifies its condition and rarity, which is what pushes values up. Without grading, you might not get top dollar. Coin identifier. Now let's close with the big takeaway. Most 2000 pennies are worth just 1 cent, but a rare few, the ones that are perfect, certified, error-ridden, or unusual, can be worth hundreds, and occasionally even thousands of dollars. So before you spend that penny on coffee, check it closely. You might be throwing away a tiny fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this fascinating look at hidden coin values, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss future treasure hunting content.